Our first storyteller for tonight is Aparna Jayaraman. Sometimes I have a little different. So I met Aparna about 2 years ago at this career fair. She was a panelist, and I found out that she was a Peace Corps volunteer in Lesotho, which is this little country that's surrounded nearly by South Africa. And I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Swaziland, or Eswatini now it's called. They changed the name. But that's also a country that's almost nearly surrounded by South Africa. So I went up and chatted with her after she was done with this panel, and I invited her to come tell a story. And she told her first story about a year ago, so we're excited to have her tell another story tonight. Please welcome Aparna Jayaraman with her story, A Petty Rivalry.
I first met Thandi Patel in Mr. Johnson's 11th grade American literature class. Thandi and I became friends because we stood out. The class was this odd mix of football jocks, cheerleaders, and kids who had seen the inside of the vice principal's office a few too many times. So that was the foundation of our friendship. Thandi was a little awkward, a little dorky, but I liked that about her. When Mr. Johnson asked a question to class, it would be our hands that would shoot up first, and it became an inside joke, so we'd giggle about it. When there was a team activity, wherever we were in the room, we'd lock eyes with each other to make sure we were still on the same page. But things changed in April of that year. We'd had a pop quiz a few days ago, and Mr. Johnson was passing back our papers. "Good job, Aparna," he said as he placed my quiz face down on my desk. I picked it up to see my score. "What'd you get?" Thandi asked me. 10 out of 10, I said. "What? How'd you do that?" I managed a quick glance at Thandi's paper before she hid it from my view. She'd only gotten an 8. Thandi and I shared scores all the time, but Thandi always did as well or better than me. It never bothered me personally because I was a solid B+, A- student. I didn't want to work so hard in school that I had nothing else going on, but I also had a dream, UCSD, University of California, San Diego. UCSD was as far away from home as I could get while still staying in the state of California, a requirement for my parents. As long as I kept my GPA above a 3.5, I was golden. So doing a little worse than Thandi, completely fine. Obviously, she didn't feel the same way. I know it was a slip of the tongue, but it's really hard to be friends with someone who thinks you're dumber than they are. So our friendship started to deteriorate. The last straw was in June. Mr. Johnson offered an extra credit opportunity if you performed a talent in front of the class. I didn't participate. I had my solid A-. But Thandi did, and I could never figure out why. She got up in front of the class and sang what just happened to be my favorite song in the entire world, Mariah Carey's Hero. I mean, who has the audacity to sing Mariah Carey at a talent show? And you know what the worst part was? She wasn't that bad. 11th grade ended, and soon I was a senior in high school. After comparing schedules with my friends, I realized my best friend Priya and I had the same exact AP literature class. We were ecstatic. We had one other notable classmate, though. When I came into class that first day of school, I sat at a set of desks close to the door. When Thandi walked into class, she went right past me and sat at the desk right next to the teachers. I sat in the part of the classroom where people took classes like journalism and music as electives. Thandi sat in a part of the class where people thought physiology was a fun class. AP Lit worked like this. We read book after book after book, but at the end of each quarter, we get a little break. We do this group activity that we'd perform in front of the class. The teacher warned us into 3 groups, and the lines were drawn immediately. Thandi and her group of overachievers, Priya and I and our group of eclectic individuals, and I don't even remember the third team because they didn't have a chance. Round 1 went to Thandi. It's hard to compete with the High School Musical reinterpretation of Wuthering Heights. But round two was ours. We did Hamlet on Broadway with a karaoke backtrack, dance numbers, and updated lyrics to all your favorite Broadway hits. The ghost of King Hamlet is there inside your mind. Round 3, I consider that a no contest because we had one person on our team that had to take a medical leave. But at that point, I had my ticket to UCSD, so I couldn't care less. And I had a plan. See, I was sick of high school Aparna, and I was pretty sure there was a better version of me brimming just under the surface, waiting to be set free. And college seemed like the perfect time to reinvent myself. But if I kept in touch with people from high school, I knew they'd just put me back into my box. So my plan was, other than keeping in touch with a few key friends, I was letting go of my high school network. I was going to start anew in college. And to be honest, it was working. When I entered college, I made a brand new set of friends. We did things like go to the beach at midnight and watch Grey's Anatomy together. But one day, when I was walking back from class, heading to a dorm room, guess who I saw? Aparna? Thandi? I didn't know you went to UCSD. Yeah, I guess you do too. Yeah, I'm so happy to see you. I've been trying to meet up with people from high school ever since you came, and it's just been so hard with everyone's schedules, you know? Yeah. Anyways, I have to get going to class, but we should totally hang out. Yeah, that sounds great. Bye. What was she doing here? This was my university. This was my dream. She was supposed to be at Stanford or Harvard or somewhere else people like her go. This was my school. What was she doing here? It was my roommate Savitha that figured it out. See, Savitha was an aspiring medical school student and had classes with Thandi. Turns out, Thandi got into a very exclusive 7-year program. You spend 3 years as an undergrad, and assuming you don't bomb your classes, you get an automatic ticket into UCSD medical school. That's right, folks. While all us idiots were applying to college, Thandi was applying to fucking medical school. At 18 years old, Thandi had her entire life figured out. And here I was, switching career tracks every other month. Fucking Thandi Patel! You know, I wasn't the only one that felt this way. My roommate Savitha, it must have been the 3rd year of college, she came back from class one day, threw her book bag on the ground, and just screamed out, "It's not fair! I'm studying for the MCAT because I need a good score. I'm working my ass off in classes so I can maintain this insane GPA. I'm working at a research lab so that I can publish a paper before I graduate. And I'm volunteering, also that I put together this halfway decent medical school application, and I'm putting in all this effort, and I don't even know if I'm gonna get in. But you know who doesn't have to worry about that? Thandi Patel. Thandi Patel's already in fucking medical school. Fucking Thandi Patel! Well, fucking Thandi Patel graduated from college that year, and she joined UCSD Medical School in the fall. And a year later, Savitha and I graduated from college. Savitha took a year off before going to medical school, which she did get into. All that work paid off. And I joined the Peace Corps because that seemed like a great first step in my brand new career path, saving the world. The last time I saw Thandi Patel was right after I came back from the Peace Corps. I was living with my parents, and it was holiday time, and I was walking out of a Macy's with a brand new pair of boots under my arm, and guess who I saw in the parking lot? Aparna? Thandi, I didn't Aparna, how have you been? Good, you're in a medical school now? I'm a resident. Oh, okay. Hey, we missed you at the high school reunion. Yeah, it's a long story, but yeah, Priya said you were in the Peace Corps. Yeah, that's exactly why I couldn't come. I couldn't really leave the country at that time. Wow. You know, Priya was saying you live without electricity or running water. Yeah, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, but, you know, I'm so happy I did it. Wow, that's so cool. You know, I have to get going, but, you know, if you're in town for the holidays, we should hang out sometime. Yeah, that sounds great. Bye. I walked back to my car, still processing the surprise encounter. I think Thandi Patel thinks I'm cool. Thank you.